Okay, in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice has been given to all members of the governing body, the local source, and the Westfield Leader, the two newspapers designated to receive such notice. This notice is posted on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board. I'll let the record reflect that all members of council are on. We also have Mike Disco, Attorney John Post. We have Recreation Director Frank Masella, Township Clerk Martha, Matt Deanna, Director of Public Works, and also Jill Good, our CFO, and Joe Giannuzzi, the Chief of Police. I don't think I missed anyone. Okay.
As always, you missed me.
Oh, yeah, really? Oh, Glenn, where are you? You must be hidden somewhere. Oh, yeah, you're in the top corner. Okay. I always assume you're still member of council, so that's when I say that.
Okay. No votes for me.
Okay, so let's start with a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of
the
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so the first discussion item is the Girl Scout Troop 40962, the proposed Bronze Award project. So I guess we're going to let them in at this point, Matt.
Yes, I will let them in, and like I said, and Steve will send them a text as well.
Councilman Matajek, if you just want to let everybody know that you sent everybody a revised copy.
Yeah, so everyone has a printout of the presentation. They did tweak it just a little bit, but they're going to walk through it and explain everything.
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm going to. Oh, sorry, I'll admit them now.
I think everyone's here.
I see one person still trying to connect. We know who that is? Oh, Eric. Okay.
It looks like there's two.
There's someone's
Yeah.
dial 4616.
They're in.
The phone number is Corporal Sean Bendick, or Sergeant Sean Bendick.
Okay.
Hi, girls.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
How are you?
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I guess if I could just say a couple things. Girl Scout Troop 40962 had reached out to me just a couple of weeks ago, but by the time they reached out to me, they had already done quite a bit of work on their Bronze Award. And given the nature of the Bronze Award and what might be involved from the town, on behalf of the council and the mayor, I invited them to come in and present. They've got lots of great material, so I'd like to invite them now to give their presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Mirabelli and council members, and thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Anna Silva, and I am the co-leader of Girl Scout Troop 40962. The girls are very excited to present their findings and their Bronze Award project to you this evening. As Steve mentioned, they worked very hard and look forward to sharing their findings and recommendations to increase pedestrian safety around the front and back of Deerfield School. There are 6 different areas that we're going to talk about tonight. The first is I'm going to allow the girls to introduce themselves to you and talk a little bit about their interests and hobbies. Then we're going to talk about what the Bronze Award is and how this project meets that criteria. Then we'll talk about the project goals, and they will present the observations and proposals for the main and back entrance of the school. And then finally, we'll talk about the estimated costs and next steps to get this project going. So as I mentioned, we are a 5th grade junior Girl Scout troop. We've been together since the girls have been in kindergarten, so that's a little bit over 6 years now. I'll mention each girl by name, and they will introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about themselves. So first is Allie Gardner.
Hi, my name is Allie Gardner. I like Girl Scouts because we do fun things in the community, and my true love is softball.
Charlotte Keenan.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Keenan. One thing I love about Girl Scouts is all the fun activities we do to help the community, and I'm on the Turning Point dance team.
Veronica Martinez.
Hi, my name is Veronica Martinez. My favorite part of Girl Scouts is how we have fun while helping the community. One of my hobbies is horseback riding.
Sophia Filippo.
Hi, I'm Sophia Filippo, and my favorite part about Girl Scouts is earning badges and helping the community, and I play for the Baptist Softball Club.
Naya Silva.
Hi, my name is Naya Silva. My favorite sport is dance, and my favorite hobbies are baking and making arts and crafts. My favorite part about Girl Scouts is that we always have fun and do activities together.
And Sophia Welches.
Good evening, council members. My name is Sophia Wilches, and my favorite thing about Girl Scouts is that we learn something different at each meeting. 2 of my hobbies are reading and playing softball.
Stephanie Filippo, our co-leader.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Filippo. I am honored to be a co-leader of this Girl Scout junior troop, and truly to see them grow from little shy kindergartners into the girls who are ready and very able to present to you this evening. I'd say that leading Girl Scout troops is one of my hobbies. This is one of 2 Girl Scout troops in town that I lead, and I'm also a softball coach in town, and we're very happy to be here this evening.
And my name is Anna Silva, as I mentioned, and I'm a proud Mountainside resident for a little bit over 11 years. And I've been the co-leader of this troop with Stephanie. And I agree with everything she said. These girls make us proud at every meeting and have done amazing things. Some of the great projects that we've done is to collect donations for the animal shelter in South Plainfield. The girls built and installed 3 new trading trail boxes right there in Borough Hall. And one of the favorite activities I have with my daughter is the mother-daughter dance. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my daughter, Naya Silva, who's going to talk about the Bronze Award and what we've done to achieve it.
Good evening, council members, and thank you for having us here tonight. I'm going to review with you what the Bronze Award is. The Bronze Award is the highest honor a Girl Scout junior can achieve. There are 7 steps to earn this award. The most important steps are to explore the community, choose a project, make a plan, and put it in motion. We each had to work a minimum of 20 hours to earn this award. This project has helped us grow our confidence, meet new people, and learn the importance of making a change in the community. Now that we are in 5th grade and walking to school more often, we started noticing cars speeding along the front and back of Deerfield School. It is really dangerous. This project will make an impact on the community by making streets safer for pedestrian traffic around Deerfield School. There are 6 different stages for our project. Stage 1, we met with Officer Sean and Officer Eric of the Mountainside Police Department. They loved our idea and encouraged us to move forward. Stage 2, our troop leaders reached out to Mr. Jordan Hyman of the Mountainside Board of Education. He also loved our project. Stage 3, here we are tonight presenting to you.
Stage 4, we're going to submit our WATS grant application. Stage 5, select a specific action items based on the funds received. And stage 6, we make our ideas happen. The project goals. Identified problem. Cars are going over the speed limit on Central Avenue and Wyoming Drive during pickup and drop-off times, creating a hazard for pedestrians around the school. Our goals and solutions. Purchasing and arranging for installation of new signs and also refurbishing signage painted on the streets to make the streets of Mountainside safer for everyone.
Thank you, Veronica. For part 4, our observation and proposals on the main entrance, Charlotte Keenan will begin our presentation.
I live on Knollwood Road and walk to and from Deerfield School every day with my brother. As you know, there are no sidewalks in town, so we have to walk in the street, which is very narrow. The first photo on slide 7 shows a stop sign that is at the corner of Knollwood and Central Road. It's extremely faded and cars don't fully stop there. In real life, it is pink, not red. This is dangerous because many kids walk this way to school. The next picture on this slide shows Central Avenue coming from the other direction. The words on the road are very faded and drivers can't read it. It should be repainted with paint that is more visible to drivers. Both photos on slide 8 are signs that are meant to make drivers aware of pedestrians who are walking. Both are faded and damaged and should be replaced to improve visibility for drivers and improve pedestrian safety in this area. The first photo on slide 9 shows a crosswalk sign on Central Road. It needs to be replaced so that drivers have a chance to slow down before reaching the crosswalk.
Thank you, Charlotte. Sophia Wilchess will continue with the main entrance presentation.
This second photo shows where yellow lines indicating school zones should be painted on Central Avenue at the exit of Deerfield. If you look closely, you will see Charlotte, who is standing next to the one-way sign, and I am standing under the crosswalk sign. We represent where the yellow line should be painted. The first photo on slide 10 is a sign located across from the exit of the school. Although the reflective strip looks bright in the photo, in real life, the whole sign is extremely faded. It should be replaced or at the very least repainted. The second photo is a speed limit sign that is farther down Central, closer to Route 22. It is the closest sign to the school. We would like to replace this sign with a speed radar sign. My troopmate, Allie, will give you more information about the radar sign. The last picture on slide 11, it shows the slow school crossing painted on Central Avenue, going from Route 22 towards Deerfield. It is extremely faded and needs to be repainted.
Thank you, Sophia. Allie will now present with respect to the radar sign.
The radar sign. We recommend 2 speed feedback signs on Central Avenue, one in each direction. In our research, we found the Traffic Logic Safe Pace radar feedback sign as the best choice. The sign is solar powered and can be installed on existing poles. The sign are $3,000 each. The benefits of the radar sign are: 1, reminder to drivers to slow down by showing current speed. 2, alert drivers without affecting normal traffic. Here we show our recommended placement. 1, a new sign southbound on Central at Creek Bed. The second sign added to the existing sign northbound on Central at 254 Central Avenue.
Thank you, Allie. For slide number 14, Sophia Filippo will present observations and the proposal for the back entrance of the school.
Hello. As a 5th grader, I am constantly walking to and from school with me and my sister, and I've noticed a few things. The first thing is that there's a Children at Play sign at the corner of Longview and Wyoming that is not seen by Wyoming traffic. A good suggestion to make this more seeable is to turn the sign so it faces one way on Wyoming and install another one on the other side. The next thing is that there are 3 25-mile-per-hour speed signs on Wyoming that seem to be constantly ignored by drivers. One thing that I think would cause more attention to this is if we put yellow school signs on the bottom of each of the signs. Finally, there is a people crossing sign on Wyoming Avenue that is hidden by trees. Even though in the picture it looks perfectly fine, in the spring and summer when you are standing far away, flowers and other shrubbery cover it. This is a tricky situation to cover because I don't know if the borough will be able to cut the tree because it is so close to the curb, or if we will have to ask the people that live on the property if we are able to cut it down. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. So at slide number 17, we put together a chart of expense summaries. The radar feedback sign is our biggest ticket item. At $3,000 a piece, we're looking at $6,000. And then we just included some estimates based on what we were able to find online for what some of these other signs would cost. So we're looking at about $6,500 total for our project. We are planning on applying for a Watts Foundation grant, and we do have about $400 of our own money to throw into the pot. That grant application will be submitted on Friday, and we also plan on doing some additional fundraisers. You may recall that around Halloween time, the Mountainside Newcomers Club did a very successful lawn sign campaign where they sold lawn signs identifying which houses were available for trick-or-treating. The Girl Scouts Heart of New Jersey has approved that as a fundraiser for us. They actually have very stringent fundraising guidelines we found out through this process, but they have approved that, and we're working with a Mountainside owned company to source those signs and hopefully raise some additional funds for this particular project. On the next slide, I hope that you will walk away with this knowing that these girls really, as someone once told me, walk the land and use their feet and their eyes and their ears to kind of observe what's going on around them. And I think they did a wonderful job. There are some repairs, obviously, that are a little bit easier and more cost effective than others, and they really span the gamut. So some of those repairs include repainting the crossing school slow writing on Central Avenue and the yellow schools and the yellow school zone on Central. What I hope was a quick repair would be trimming that tree back on Wyoming so that cars can see that people crossing sign more than just 2 or 3 feet in front of it. Some replacements include that pink stop sign that I think Charlotte highlighted. We all know they're supposed to be red, and maybe if that was a pink stop sign, folks might pay a little bit more attention to it. And also the children at play sign right by the exit of the school on Millwood and Central. There's also a crosswalk sign that's also very faded there, so we'd like to see that replaced. Additions include, as I mentioned, the 2 radar feedback signs, which would be on either end of Central Avenue so that motor vehicle traffic will encounter one coming on from each direction as they approach the school, and adding additional school signs to the 25-mile-an-hour signs existing on Wyoming Avenue, and an additional children at play sign that would be facing the traffic on Wyoming as opposed to facing the traffic on a less busy street. Slide 19. The number of Mountainside residents who will benefit from this, we really think is endless. This started as a group of 5th graders who were walking to and from school and noticing hazards, but it's not just about what today's current students will encounter. I think that the changes that they're proposing will benefit school children going to and from Beechwood for many years, and also just Mountainside residents who walk their dogs on the path or go use the soccer fields or the softball fields. So we really like to think about it as a community-wide initiative. We want to thank you, of course, for your time tonight. This was a big deal for these girls. Girls, I think you all did beautifully. Thank you particularly to Councilman Matichak for getting us in so quickly on the agenda. We really appreciate that. And from the help we received very early on from Sergeant Bendick and Officer Pastore in the Mountainside Police Department. I think that they were a great starting point for these girls who knew him from kindergarten at the school. And we appreciate that encouragement. So thank you all very much. That concludes our presentation. Our email addresses and our phone numbers are there. And of course, if you have any questions for us, we're happy to try and answer them as best we can.
Thank you very much. That was a really good presentation. I enjoyed it. It showed a lot of work, but more importantly, a lot of thoughtfulness into your project, a lot of analysis that seems to be, shows a lot of maturity, and it's very solutions driven. So I want to thank you for that, and see if anyone from anyone has questions for the Girl Scouts.
I did ask Mike Disco and Matt Deanna to take a look at the presentation. So if they have any comments, if you could give us those comments now, I think it'd be helpful to the Girl Scouts.
I would just first say that it's a wonderful project and they did an outstanding job. So congratulations to the Girl Scouts and their leaders.
Thank you.
From an engineering standpoint, there's no issue with the identification of the issues, Mayor. It's always a question of who does it and who pays for it. So that has to be rectified by council, of course. We would certainly interact in any way possible. There are some things on the strict replacement of signs or the strict restriping of pavement markings. Those can be done routinely. When you add a new entity, such as the school placard or the radar signs, you just want to make sure you are in conformance to what they call the MUTCD, the Manual Uniform Traffic Control Devices. The radar signs are very effective and tend to have a very positive effect on drivers who are speeding, and they instantly have that feedback and they fear that there's some sort of enforcement tied with that. So they're effective. Those are, of course, the biggest ticket items. As far as the other stuff, there's no engineering issue. Again, it's always just the funding of it.
Mike, is there a monthly fee on the radar signs at all, or is it just put up once and that's it? Is there something monthly that we have to be?
I think there's various things. You can purchase the units or you could rent them or lease them. And then there may be some minor electric costs if they're not, solar and a dependable solar source. A lot of these are done. I don't want to speak for the chief. A lot of them are coordinated through the police department, but they own those devices. So they could be done. They could be targeted at the school period times or the introduction of school periods. They can be moved and relocated. Obviously, there's a cost when you do that, but presumably once you have the device, you could use it in that same area or relocate it, perhaps.
It looked like they were mounted to like a pole or something, though.
Yeah.
So I think it would be
The
permanent.
ones that we had looked at and were proposing were ones that would permanently be installed on a pole. I think there are ones that are more mobile, but because we're targeting a specific issue and we thought that the signs would do well there in the long term, that was where we started. But of course, we're open to feedback as to whether you think that's effective or whether, we or the town needs something that would be more mobile, perhaps depending on the season.
Well, again, they're very effective. So I couldn't speak anything against it from an effectiveness standpoint. The only complaint on the radar signs is because of the, I'll say the flashing of it at nighttime, you might have the adjacent resident who would not be happy with that. But that's, again, a personal thing, and that could probably be ameliorated by discussing it with the adjacent property owner in advance of installing it or finding the appropriate place.
Could you shut them down at night, Mike? Can you set
Sure.
them up anyway?
You probably have controls where you can disconnect them at certain times or have them run for a certain period of time. I'm sure. I've never operated them myself.
I was going to say, we can look into that and get back to you with a little bit more detail regarding specifics on turning it on, off, how it operates, like solar powered, or if there's any limitations or restrictions. So we can do a little bit more research into that.
And the placement of those, I noticed on Central Ave coming off of 22, the radar sign is in pretty close proximity to the school, whereas coming down Central, it's all the way up by Creek Bed. Can you talk a little bit about how you chose the placement?
So there was a lot of discussion around that. So when we walk to school, we're on the corner of Hedgerow and Central walking down. And I know in the times that we've come off of Hedgerow, cars are flying past us. So for me, I felt that creek bed was a great location for it because it gives cars enough time to start to slow down. So as they're getting closer to the school and getting closer to Wood Valley, they're already at maybe 20, 25 miles an hour. And I know, I'm not sure how far up Central Ave kids are walking down to school, but I know for sure at the corner of Creek Bed and Central, there's some families walking down. So that's how we decided upon that street.
Thank you.
And I think on the other end, there was already a 25-mile-an-hour sign there. So it perhaps seemed like the path of least resistance to just add something to existing signage as opposed to having to brainstorm an entirely new place.
I'm just going to put in girls, great job, great presentation. Maybe we can look at some of the pricing you have because Matt Deanna, Public Works Director, and maybe the police department, we have some buying power with some of the co-ops we belong to. So maybe we can get better pricing than you got off of, I don't know if you just got them off the internet or whatever, but maybe we get the information out and see if we can, maybe buy them cheaper for you, so you have more bang for the buck if you fundraise the money. So, and Martha, the borough clerk, was also a certified purchasing person, so she can buy stuff too that doesn't have to go out to bid. So maybe the town can help get her better pricing on them. So
Okay.
good job, girls.
Thank you. Can we reach out to you and to Martha to get some more information on what those co-ops are and how that works?
I think, yeah, definitely Martha and Matt Deanna would be the best best route. Yes.
Okay.
My name is Matt Deanna. I'm the Director of Public Works. That was a great presentation. You could find my contact information on the Mountainside website under Public Works. My email address, my phone number's there. I'd be happy to help you and get some more prices if you want that. The only thing I see in that presentation that I think will not work is the painting of a stop sign. I think if the stop sign on Knollwood is pink, the best bet is just to replace it. Really, by law, we can't paint a stop sign red.
Yes, that's what we were hoping to do. I agree with that.
That's the only thing I see that it would be an issue. But other than that, I think it was a great job and a great presentation.
Thank you.
Would items such as the stop sign and children at play signs, and I don't know if this is a question back for the police department or for Martha and Matt, is sourcing of those things too. We just went online and were able to get some rough pricing for those, but we don't know if there are preferred vendors or NJDOT requirements on where you buy those from.
So we do use, there's a couple different companies I use. One of them is Garden State Highway. Another is Tabco. They're all companies that all their signs are regulated by DOT and the MUTCH. So, I'd be happy to share some information with you regarding those vendors or getting some prices for you that you could look at. And we can go from there.
Okay, great.
I
Thank
think
you.
just two other things. I think the restriping on the street would have to be done by a professional company. So you probably also would want to maybe work with Matt on, he'll give you some people that, can do that in town. Unfortunately, I don't think the Girl Scouts, although I'm sure they're very artistic.
I think it would come out great if they went out there with their paintbrushes.
I think they need to be done professionally.
Definitely.
The only other thing also, as far as fundraising, you talk about selling, some signs, maybe some signs that say go slow for our kids, 25 miles per hour, kids, signs like that we see all over the place. Maybe another way to help you, fundraise if you're looking to sell signs. A lot of people would probably put them up around town on their lawns to support a project like this. So I think that might be a good idea for you.
Okay.
Great.
The mayor
Mayor,
said
I
he'd
could
buy the
also-
first one.
Yeah, I'll buy the first one. So.
Perfect.
Mayor, we are under through the MUTCD, we are under a requirement to monitor are signs, especially for nighttime retroreflectivity. We last did that analysis in 2014. It's budgeted actually for 2021. The Knollwood stop sign was replaced in 2004. Just to educate everybody, a typical sign has a minimum 10-year life. It's variable subject to whether it's facing the sun, whether it's in clear direct sunlight as opposed to having tree cover, temperature, and all of that. So some places can get longer than 10-year life out of a sign. In 2000, that sign was replaced, as an example, in 2004, when we did the retroreflectivity analysis, which I'm certified for in 2014, that was an acceptable sign there. So you see the 7 years since then, the sign has aged out of compliance most likely. It's actually, even though it's faded in a color, it may still be retroreflective at night, which is more important, but most likely what we do in the borough is when we pave a street, we replace all regulatory and warning signs. That is our management method, which keeps us out of lawsuits. The gas company just paved Knollwood as well as some others. So we would routinely go in after that and replace those signs. So I can commit that the stop sign on Knollwood would be part of what we would replace this year anyway, if that helps the council.
Great.
Well, maybe we can work with the Girl Scouts to figure out what we would normally do, and then we would leave to them the things that we would not normally do. And this way, they can get more bang for their buck.
That would be wonderful.
Again, Mike and Matt Deanna are the ones that you should speak to.
Okay.
And Eric and Sean certainly would, I'm sure, help you with the pricing on the signs.
Okay.
Joe, do you have any comments at all?
No, I just concur. It was a fantastic presentation. I can see there's going to be a lot of good public speakers coming out of the group. And I think those signs are fixed. I would think there's probably a photoelectric sign or photoelectric cell on there that would either dim or not allow the strobe light to go on at night. And you could look for something like that. I would leave that one sign closer to the intersection of Wood Valley. As cars are coming down the hill, they would see that sign and maybe correct their speed before the hill got them going too fast on a downward slide toward the school. But other than that, anything we can do for you, we're on board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great presentation. Great, great award. So thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. And thank you for your presentation tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Great.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, girls.
Okay, so next on the agenda is the 2021 budget introduction. After discussion with Jill today, although I am going to present what we had come up with as the budget, so the council can be aware of what we're looking to do. It seems that it might be beneficial to us to delay the actual introduction of the budget to sometime in April. As we all hear, there is probably going to be a second CARES Act that's going to be passed. And there's monies that will trickle down to Mountainside that may be helpful with some things that we would be looking at. So although I'm going to go through what the budget is going to look like now, we are going to delay the introduction till we see what effect a potential CARES Act might have on it. So if you have we have your increases and your decreases in the budget. The biggest increase up at the top is the DPW garage, but you can see that's offset down at the bottom by using monies from the sale of municipal assets. So although that's an increase, it's going to be offset by that funding. We also have some capital deferred charges and pay down. That's an increase, but that again is also going to be offset by cancellation of some of the 2020 budget items. As you go down, you can see where there are increases. Some of the bigger increases is the insurance, which we really have no control over, the pension, which we have no control over, Social Security, we have no control over. The grant matches is just the cost of doing business when you get grants. The Board of Health contracts going up a little bit. We have the anticipated pool deficit that we're going to have to cover of $25,000. And then we have some things that are going to decrease. Some of the capital projects are going to decrease. And also there's going to be a decrease in the legal line. If we go down below, we've already talked about the sale of municipal assets that are going to offset the DPW garage, the cancellation of the 2020 budget, which is going to help with some of the capital deferred charges. There's a slight increase in uniform fire fees. There is going to be a decrease in the amount of surplus that we're going to be using. There's also the surplus from capital projects. But that's offset. We do have some anticipated decrease in the revenue from court fines because the court really wasn't up and running for a big part of it was up and running, but the actual revenue generated because of the decrease in tickets and other things, we expect a shortfall there. There's a capital surplus of $20,000, and the cable TV franchise fee is going to go down a little bit. But you can see the operating budget increase and the revenue are going to balance each other out. And right now we were projecting a 0 increase in the budget. So that would be fantastic if we can continue with that. So at this point, I'm very comfortable with how we're working the budget. We're not going to have any increase, especially in a year when we have at the revaluation. I think that's a very good sign for our residents. Does anybody have any questions on the budget that we have at this point? Like I said, it may change based upon additional funding.
I do not.
No one else? Okay, so next we have the 2021 additional budget. Jill, I guess that's you just putting some more money so we can keep the town operating.
Right. I'll have to email that. I had done that today until we got the notification from the state that we could delay the budget. So since we're going to delay the introduction of the budget by a month, I may have to add a few more temporary appropriations. So I will work on that and, redo the numbers. Mostly it's, the pay Railway Valley right now, the pension bills, add a little bit more money to the snow budget. And I think I had to add like 3,000 or 4,000 to another line item, but I'll probably have to increase, like the paying over to the library and things like that. Because we initially had the temporary budget slotted for 3 months and now it's going to be for 4 months.
So Jill, do you know something we don't? You're going to put more money in the snow budget?
I don't want to talk about it. Every time I talk about it, bad things happen. Our initial budget
over there.
our initial budget was $100,000. So we do need to put more money in there, but saying that, the budget amount is 300,000 and we're, like I said, I don't want to talk about it too much, but we're still in good shape.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so anybody have any questions about why we need to increase the temporary budget? Basically, it's got to be for 4 months instead of 3 months. That's why it's got to be increased. Okay, next we have the appointment of the pool staff. Frank, I guess these are pretty much old timers. Is that correct?
You're muted.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're all return guys. You know, my head manager has been there for, I don't have it in front of me, but I think it's 16 years. You know, Scotty Ladati, Snoopy came over from the playground to the pool. And then the last one is, he was part-time. I mean, he was hourly last year. Now he's going to be, since we're going to be opening full-time, he's going to be on the salary.
So I guess at this point, Frank, unless things change drastically with the state, we're going to be opening up the pool and our rec programs this summer.
We are. You know, the pool is set to open the way that it closed, just because they haven't changed anything. But we will adjust as, you know, they make the guideline changes and loosen things up.
Okay, very good. All right, so the next thing are some department refunds. Look, I see one for $50.
Yes, that was mine. That was an annual business license. It was for a sign, and they made a mistake and they sent in 2 payments instead of 1, so we need to refund them the $50.
Okay. The next is the 3-year revenue anticipated average. The state allows us to anticipate pool revenues not based upon just what the revenues were last year, which unfortunately they were low due to the restrictions that we had in opening the pool. So they're allowing us to anticipate revenues for the pool based upon the last 3 years. What that does for us, it gives us the smallest projected amount that we're going to have to put into the pool this year. If you look back at the budget, we're now anticipating that there's only going to be a deficit of $25,000, and that's a direct result of using the average revenues for the last 3 years. If the actual revenues are lower than what that 3-year average is, we do have some flexibility in adding to the emergency appropriation that we had in 2020 for the pool. And there may also be some other ways for us to cover that through the budget. So at this point, anticipating revenue based upon the last 3 years is the soundest budget practice I think that we can utilize at this point, and I think so. That's the way that we're going to proceed.
I think this resolution will be put off though another month too. It will coincide with the budget.
Okay. All right. So those two, I guess we're going to take off the public session agenda, Glenn, for next month. Yes, Glenn? Okay. Okay, and what about the authorization to purchase the vehicles? We can still do that, Jill? Jill?
Hold on. I'm getting invaded by my cat. So you can discuss it, but that's going to be proposed in the budget. I thought there was going to be some kind of discussion tonight. So I did talk to Matt Deanna, and he only needs to order the vehicles by July. So if it's in the budget, he'd be able to order them in May. So we'll, but if you want to discuss the purchase of them now, you can do that, but they can't be purchased till the budget's adopted.
Well, I think the Public Works Committee is recommending though. Is that correct, Bob? You're on mute, Bob. Bob, you're on mute.
Yes, Mayor, sorry. Yeah, the Public Works Committee met with Matt Deanna and talked about it. The vehicles are both past their useful life that we're replacing. We're going to have 2 new plow trucks that they use during the storms, one with a salt spreader. It'll make us more efficient when there's storms, especially helping out the school and the library and our guys getting around and helping out and doing the smaller storms. So after we purchased these 2 vehicles, which are 2008, is that correct? Sorry.
You're on mute, Matt.
Replacing 2 vehicles that are from 2008.
Yeah, they're both from 2008, so they're pretty much past their useful life. rotted out from the salt and et cetera. So we said it was a good idea, and we'll plan to move forward as long as the money's there.
Do anybody have any questions about purchasing? What's it, a 450 and a 350, Matt?
Yeah, an F-450 and F-350, and the ones that we're gonna take out of service will actually auction off, and I'm sure we'll get some dollar for them, probably a pretty good dollar for some of them. Seems like these people bid on these things pretty good. So,
All right, so anybody have any questions on that? Okay, so the next is bills and claims. Renee?
Actually, Mr. Mayor, if we could
Yes.
just add an eighth item, the salary adjustment for the recreation director as discussed at last month's executive session.
I think we were all on board with doing that in exec, so I think that we should put that on the agenda to pass at the public session. Anybody have any questions on that? We did discuss it at length. Okay, so at this point, we have bills and claims. Renee, you're on mute, Renee.
Be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Mountainside, the following bills of the persons named and for the amount stated below have been duly audited and found to be correct this second day of March 2021. The same be paid after council's review, if and when funds are available, and that the mayor, council president, administrator, and treasurer hereby authorized and directed to sign and deliver warrants for the same, and that's for the amount of $230,899.29.
Okay, we got a motion to pay the bills. We have a second.
Second.
Okay, poll the council, please.
Councilwoman Andre,
Yes.
Councilman Dierkes,
Yes.
Councilman Mattajak,
Yes.
Councilman Messler,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pacifico,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pater.
Rachel?
Are you muted?
No. We can't hear you, though.
I shouldn't be muted. Yes?
There
Can
you
you hear me?
go. There you
go.
Sorry, I was not muted. I don't know what happened there.
Okay. All right, so next we have some reminders. The invocation will be from Steve. Our next meeting is on March 16th, 2021. We have two ordinances that are going to be on second reading. The first one is the updating of the stormwater management regulations, and also the next one is the making some a bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new communication and signal equipment around the borough. And other than that, I guess, does anyone have any council comments?
No, sir.
No, okay, just a couple of things. If you, the OEM has totally revamped their portion of our website. If you go to the website, they have their own little icon up at the top, and if you hit on that, you'll see that they've done quite a bit of work. I know Matt and Keith have worked very hard to improve that part of the website. Also, I know that there is continuing frustration over the ability to get appointments for vaccines. Hopefully, with the emergency authorization of the Johnson & Johnson, we'll start to see more appointments become available. I was also made aware by Kim Moriak that there is a program called Gen to Gen Helpers. It was developed by Taylor Addison, a Westfield High School student. What they do is connect local volunteers. Many of them are from Mountainside, who are willing to secure vaccination appointments for senior citizens who are having difficulty getting appointments. All they have to do is fill out a form, and when the appointments are announced, Taylor Addison and the other recruits will get the help to get the seniors signed up. Many Mountainside seniors have gotten signed up, and the volunteers keep working hard to make sure that everyone gets an appointment as soon as possible. Mountainside Transportation can be used for the seniors in need of getting these appointments. Anyone that has any questions or needs a ride to get a vaccination, they can contact Kim Moriak. Her cell is 908-812-4434, and her office number is 908-232-4400. If anyone has access to the TAP in Westfield, there was an article that was published on February 18th that describes this program in detail. I think it's something that hopefully will help alleviate some of the frustration. Again, if you have any questions about it or want to get signed up for it, contact Kim Moriak. At this point, I guess, are there any, we open up to audience participation. Matt, is there anyone out there?
Right now, we are on a 15-second delay, but at the moment, there are no comments, but we'll just give it just a little bit more time.
Martha, we got to talk about the mayor's gateway thing.
You planning to attend?
I don't know if I can in the middle of the day, but we'll see.
Okay.
And there are still no public comment.
Okay, so there's going to be no exec tonight, so somebody want a motion to adjourn. The police committee is going to meet shortly. I believe there's a Zoom out there on that, so when we're done here, we should hop on that, okay?
I don't have the Zoom to get into the next meeting.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Okay.
I need it as well.
Who's that?
I need it as
Your
well. I'll
police
need
chief.
Okay, send it to Joe, too.
Okay.
Okay, so we need a motion to, unless somebody else has any other comments? Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, a second.
Second.
Adjourned.